Hey, so today I have in front of me the ice volumes, and this is really a line of volumes designed to help you take your ice climbing and your training to that next level. What we want to do is create a product where you can actually take your ice axes and swing and kind of get some of that movement, opposed to a lot of training, depending on your setup, is a lot of dry tool placement and climbing. But that's half the fun of ice climbing, is taking your ice axe and chucking it into the ice and getting that swing in. And so that's what these volumes are all about, and we developed a texture, a coating on the outside that's going to allow for that and give you maximum life. And so let's just kind of talk through the coating and how these are made. We started with our Baltic birch volume, which is the highest grade plywood, and it's going to let these last as long as possible just because of the density of the plywood. And then we coat it with this really strong, what we call our iced volume texture. And this is a balance between a texture that's soft enough, and it's going to kind of give you that feel for maybe ice climbing on a warmer day when your ice pick is kind of sinking in. But it's also tough enough that when you pull that pick out, the rubber membrane is going to seal back up, and it's going to kind of close that hole, allowing you to get that many more placements in before the volume starts to deteriorate from your metal pick flying into it. And so in a section like this, you can literally get hundreds of different placements into it. If you go to our website, you can kind of check it out. We'll show kind of how that breakdown, how many throws you can get into a section, and just really proud of how long these things can last in your training. And so in this line, we have the 5 different shapes. This is the ledge. It's pretty long. This one sets great. You can put multiples in a line, kind of simulating maybe like an ice flow that you can climb up. We have our 2 triangles. We have this is the highest profile one in the line, and then our flat one, just kind of giving you 2 different angles to train on. The diamond right here. Again, this one sets really well in multiples, kind of creating an ice flow line on your training setup. And the square, which gives you 4 different angles and sides to work with. This line designed to help you take your ice climbing training to the next level. These pair really well with setting mixed routes, bringing in some of the aluminum dry tool holds or other dry tool holds in our line where you're throwing your placement, you're actually kind of signaling that mixed route. One last thing on the texture is it's going to develop a feel, and that just like outside, you have to know kind of how hard, and you have to read your ice of how hard or how soft you're throwing in, and it's no different with the ice volumes. If you're going too soft, you're actually just going to bounce off. It's a really hard, durable surface. You got to find that right swing and that placement to sink in just enough to hold. But if you're throwing too hard in, you're going to sink way into the plywood, and that's going to get stuck in there. And so that's a cool aspect of this, is really developing that judgment of how to climb well, and that ability that you're kind of reading the feel of this, just like you're reading an ice flow outside. So go ahead and check them out. More information on the texture and this line at escapeclimbing.com.